What's up, y'all? My name is Karina Cook. I am a tax and financial strategist. I'm a CEO, a businesswoman, a faith-led businesswoman at that. What's up, y'all? I'm your host, Karina Cook. Welcome to Evolving Out Loud. You guys are here for another episode. Excited for you to be here. Okay. So, I want to talk about, this is a topic that is always near and dear to my heart because I always have these type of clients. This is a topic that comes up through and through, and that is what your CPA is not telling you. Listen, most entrepreneurs I meet are struggling with money, okay? And they're struggling with misinformation. And I find that to be one of the biggest things that they're dealing with is misinformation. Regardless if that's social media, their friend down the street, something that one of their family members did that really does not apply to their situation. And a lot of this comes up with reinvesting every dollar that they get back into the business. And I'm going to change that today. So one of the things I tend to think about is like, what is the common belief that entrepreneurs operate in when it comes to scarcity? And that's not having enough money, simply put. And we'll get a little bit more into that into this session today, but I challenge you to kind of think about that. I want you to think about like when did you start saving money and really taking this concept of saving money and building wealth and putting them into the same thing, because saving money and building wealth is not the same thing. I'm going to say it for the person in the back. Building wealth and saving money is not the same thing. Okay? There's people who put money in the savings account and maybe it's just a money market account. It's barely doing anything for them and it's not yielding any return. Versus someone building wealth in multiple different ways, regardless of the way. It could be real estate, it can be any type of investment strategy, it can be investing into a business, it can be investing into stocks, it can be just putting your money somewhere that is going to yield a better return. The focus point on that, one of the things that I hear often is, I'm going to get the money and I'm about to invest in my business. I'm not here to knock anybody. In fact, when I first started tax prep, not planning, prep, that's the first thing I did. I invested every dollar I had into my business. And I tell you, that was one of the mistakes that I made that I wish that I would have taken back and started to take some of that and invest it into other things. In some cases, doing that is fine. And actually, you'll find that a lot of business owners start off doing that, is taking their money and invest it. But you'll hear me over and over again, because the thing is, you guys, why are you working for the money? What's the point? Yes, you want your company to be one of the biggest companies, and there's a lot of factors. It can be how many businesses do you have. One of the reasons why they get this is because it's a strategic way to invest back into your business. However, that's only a handful of business owners, okay? And so a lot of us are in business to make a profit and to create wealth and live a lifestyle that we want, that's comfortable. And for most, this is what that conversation is going to be for. And so I think that putting all of the money that you get back into your business, hearing that advice sounds dangerous. I say that because anything can happen to your business. Markets can change, things can change, partnerships can change. Your business, what your customer actually wants can change, and everything can shift very quickly. We've seen it in 2008, we've seen it in 2020, and I'm pretty sure back then there was things that happened. There's things that happened in the past in history that shows over and over again. And history tends to repeat itself. So, with that being said, this is why I believe that investing every dollar that you have back into your business is very risky. That is one of the things you'll notice. If you listen to a wealthy person and you sit in a room with a wealthy person, that is one of the things that I would ask. I would encourage you, so you don't just hear from me, to ask them, because ask them, what do you actually do with your profit? One of the things that they're going to tell you is take the money out of their business and start investing it into other areas. This doesn't mean you guys just take the money in your business and just live off of it and that's it. No, you take the money out of your business and you flip it. You make it work for you in other areas, right? Again, we talk about ROI, return on investment. You take that money, you use it, and you put it somewhere else that's going to yield another investment. That can be real estate. That can be another business deal. That can be investing into Toro. That can be investing into a hospice business. It really doesn't matter, right? It's just taking this money that you've had. And I'm not saying all of it. This is the point. I would not leave all of it in the business, but I also would not invest every single dollar because your business does need something. But the thing is, when you have a business and it is yielding, the best thing you can do is start looking at ways to invest into other areas, invest it into professional development for you to be able to offer another type of service to someone, to increase and enhance the services that you have, to invest into an employee or a boatload of employees. It doesn't really matter. Maybe you even want to build a software or tech company. I mean, at this point, it is something that you can actually leverage outside of your business while also keeping some money in the business. And I think that this is something that a lot of people forget, because at some point you have to cross over the boundary of just being in the business every day, all day. The business is everything. You're having this emotional connection and tie to the business. And I also like to think like your business should be building your network, not becoming your network. It should be building that. You should be putting yourself in a position to say, how can I leverage this to increase where I already am? So when we shift our mindset to believe that every dollar should be reinvested back into your business, I think that that is a belief that could be reshaped, and you can start looking at how you can actually leverage your business with the profit that you have, take that money out and use it to bring more return on investment into your lifestyle, into your legacy, into building wealth. That is ultimately what wealthy people are going to be doing. And some of us want to be living like the wealthy. So don't just look at the bare minimum. And also, like, your strategy should match your stage. So please, y'all, be mindful of the stage that you are in, and be mindful of the risk that you like to take and don't like to take. And know that some things might have to come with a risk in order for there to be a big reward. There may be a big risk, but also this is the point where you would connect with a financial advisor, because I am not a financial advisor, but this is at the point when you start to look at this, you should already have a financial advisor or be looking for one who is going to help you make strategic moves with investments. Okay. And this is why it's important to have a team of people in your inner circle. You also have an inner circle of people in that maybe you're a tax accountant, that may be your tax strategist, that may be your bookkeeper, or your lawyer, or your financial strategist, or your business strategist, all in one circle to help advise you of the best moves that are best for you and your family. Okay. And so that is one thing. Another thing that I hear way too often, and it breaks my heart, is keeping your salary low and keeping a little bit of money. I don't want to make too much money this year because you don't want to pay too much taxes. Oh, y'all. I know some of y'all listening to this is victim to it. And I want to stop you right here and right now in that thought, in that limiting belief. Because if this is something that you are thinking in your mind, this is something that can be reframed. First of all, let's start by acknowledging that, because before I want to get into the reframing thought, writing off every single thing to make it look like you don't have money, to make you look like you're poor. And that's not it, y'all. The best thing you can do is look like you don't make a lot of money on paper, but you have a lot of money. Not that you're writing off everything to take a loss, to make it look like you have a loss and you actually have a loss. We're not doing that in 2025, nor are we doing that in 2026. And I'm clocking it, because that is going to keep you stuck. And I recently ran into a business recently, and this is not the only time. This is why I'm bringing this up because it's very common. I recently ran into a business who wanted to stop making money. Their prices are low. They've been like this. And it was in question of, why are you undercharging yourself for the work that you're doing? Well, I don't want to pay a lot of taxes because the other years I owe, and I'm just going to fix it in the prior years. And that will keep you in the same cycle over and over. So there is a process that happens, and within that, writing off too much stuff where it looks like you're just broke and you don't have any money, that can set you back when it comes to investment, when it comes to trying to get into productive debt to help you leverage other things in your business, leverage your lifestyle. So you can't really qualify for things that way. And you certainly cannot build a legacy and the wealth that you want with positioning yourself in a way that makes it look like you're broke, but then you're actually broke because of the way that you're managing the money and managing your taxes. And thinking that you cannot make enough, it puts you in a position to one, that's tricking the IRS. Okay. That's tricking them. And it's not just tricking them, it's trapping you because you're trying to trick them. But they've seen this for years, y'all. They know what to expect with this type of business. And so the best thing that you can do is get a tax strategist to help you along the way, to help you be able to leverage the tax code legally so that you can earn as much money as you want and pay as little to no taxes by leveraging the right strategies. The strategies are there. It's just you're not aware of them and you're not putting yourself in circles and putting yourself in the right rooms to leverage the information that you just don't know. Think about it. Whatever your client base is, right? They do not know everything that you know. They do not know. Some of them don't know you exist. Some of them don't know what you do in the background. Some of them don't even know the how particular you have to be to offer the service or the product that you have for them until you tell them, until you show them the value. That's the same thing when we look at taxes. We're not expecting you to know the code. We're not expecting you to know every strategy, but that's part of building a team. It's also part of being a business owner. And it's a very common thing that I hear over and over again. And we have to shake that limiting belief, Uncle Sam. No, we can grow and elevate. We just need people aligned with us so that they can help us shift this. Because imagine that you break past the 6-figure mark and you go into 7 figures, and now you're making as much money as you want, and you're still only paying a little bit amount of taxes. You're just paying what you owe. You're still paying a lot of taxes by hiding that you're paying taxes, even if you're paying a little bit. I've heard it too many times where it's becoming a thing that I feel people are just too afraid of and you can get past. So one of the things I want to talk about is debt, because there's a lot of misconception about debt. And there obviously is a point where if you're not disciplined enough to have the debt because you keep spending it and using the credit card, and you're stuck in these high interest loans or credit cards, and then your debt to income is skyrocket, the discipline is not there. No one should be advising you to use credit right now until you get disciplined to use it and pay it down. You have to start looking at debt as a productive debt, or debt is good when it's productive, not reductive. And the difference is using it, like we talked about, on things that are not going to return an investment. Okay. And so that's like, okay, I want to buy some shoes, but the shoes, there's no investment in that, right? I want to just go buy random things that are not going to bring me more money. That is not what we're talking about. We're talking about productive debt that is going to help you leverage an asset. So maybe you can buy a rental property, an Airbnb for with this debt. Maybe you can have debt for your business to help expand in some area, like a loan, a small business loan, or some form of loan for equipment, or you want to invest or use debt for your lifestyle or for your business. Keep in mind that leveraging capital is a strategy. Okay, it's not something that is looked down on, and it allows you to be able to pivot from one place to another. A lot of people use debt to acquire assets, to acquire things, instead of using their money, they're using other people's money. Okay, and that will get you a long way. When I say leveraging capital as a strategy, is because you want to use it and be productive and not reckless. That's the whole difference, right? So there's a scripture that I want to point out to you. This is Luke 14:28. And it says, suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost? That is, this is the point, is using systems, tools, and resources like productive debt to help you with capital. That's something that you obviously, if this is something that you leverage, sit down, really take inventory on what this can do for you on the good side and the bad side. And it's about knowing what your options are and using that to the best of what you can for your situation. Okay. And so I'm not telling everyone to just get in debt and be in debt and be irresponsible. That's far from it. It's just knowing what your options are and understanding that this is something that you can leverage. Okay. We really want to start being intentional about what we're doing. And part of that is using strategies and using what you have as a resource and a tool, using your tools and resources that are in front of you to build a legacy and to build wealth. That's ultimately what the groundwork is here. Now, listen, y'all, another thing is having multiple streams of income too soon. Having multiple streams of income as you're in a certain place and area in your business and life is totally fine. I've seen many people do it because when you become wealthy, you're looking to put your investments in other areas that are going to work for you. You want to diversify. And in fact, you want to have diversity at a lower level also in as you're scaling. When I say lower level, I'm talking about 250,000, 500,000. That's about, and I'm not knocking anyone who's there because that is a great place to be in your business. However, I'm saying on a grand scheme of things, I've seen businesses, millions of dollars, where it's like, okay, you have to start making the money work for you at a more aggressive rate than you would when you're just now at the beginning of scaling and getting into 6 and 7 figures. Now, what I would say is you don't need 7 streams of income, 8 streams of income to make a profit. What you need is to focus on 1 or 2 of the core things that you're doing in your business. Leverage that. Do what we said in the beginning, which is taking some of that money out and letting it passively work for you. Okay? I see people who have so many things, like they have merchandise, they have their coaching business, they have their masterminds and all these other things. So much going on. They have online courses, selling on Etsy, doing Toro, fixing credit, doing tax prep. And all that is fine and dandy, but it's not going to move you where you want to go. In fact, it's going to tire you out. And your hands are going to be in too many places. Even if you have a team, the money still is going to be leaking and things are going to happen because you're not putting your focus in the areas that really need the focus, that actually can do more than what all 8, 9 things are doing for you. And so that is what I mean. And by all means, if you are leveraging that and you're like, hey, I'm successful in it, take my hat off to you, because not many people can be successful with doing so many things all at once and not focusing on 1 or 2 things. So what I'm saying is also, like, you want to build first and then diversify. That's all I'm saying, is not to knock anybody. It's just to let you know that you build first and then you diversify. That's why you start here. You do a little bit things here and there. You take money out of your business to make sure that that money is being diversified. And as you grow, then you can increase what you're doing at a higher rate. And at that point, you'll have more resources to be able to leverage doing it. Because ultimately, we look at it and we go, okay, you're scaling. Right? Scaling is one thing, but having 5 to 6 things that now you're taking a loss on and you're feeling like, I don't even know what I'm doing, that's not worth it. I think scaling is one thing, and I believe that scaling one thing helps more than having five things that keep you stressed. And so that is one of the things that I tell you, like, look at what you truly are doing and see how it's actually serving you and how is it moving the needle for you. And can you actually focus on that one or two things? That's going to help leverage everything. And then you can start after you finish this, though. And listen, I'm not telling y'all because I've done this, and when I start to think about what I was doing, I actually was getting into multiple things, and people around me was like, Karina, you got all these good ideas, and I'm just kind of wondering why you all I feel like you're all over the place. And I was like, no, I'm not. But I had to think, okay, I need to focus on this one thing. This one thing for me, you guys, is tax planning. Tax planning. And even for me right now, what I do is I only accept clients coming into me who are tax planning clients. It's not just tax prep. So I don't just take individuals. And the ones that I do have is the ones that were clients from day one. And they still have to want some type of strategy or education around helping them. Because otherwise, I'm not serving them or me, because that's not what I'm doing. So what I did was take my strategy and make that the center of what I'm doing. And everything else falls behind this. But if you're a client coming in, you either have to be a business or entrepreneur, you have to be doing tax strategy with me. And when we're doing tax strategy, of course, I will do your taxes, we will do your books, but we will only do that if you're a tax planning client. And instead of doing, oh, I'm selling products, I'm selling this, I'm doing this, I narrowed my focus. And this is why I'm able to charge somebody $15,000 for a tax strategy and everything that comes with it. And that's not even the tip of the iceberg. I can charge way more than that. I am working on charging 30,000 and up, but it can get to that. And so, with focusing on that main thing and making that main thing the thing, then you can start making progress and you can start making an impact on people and using that now, taking that money out and leveraging other things. So, that is what I mean by using one offer, and using that to leverage other things. Faith over finance is still being developed. And as y'all know, we're in the early stages of developing faith over finance. So that one will be the focus, will be still one thing to help people with, because I've learned that with this business. So I'm not going to be offering all these things. They need to, the thing also that I'm offering is going to piggyback just how it does with tax strategy. So what piggybacks off of tax strategy for me? Well, that's going to be tax prep, bookkeeping, education, advisory, consulting. So within this one service, there are multiple ranges of services that complement this. And it will be the same thing with faith over finance. I am part of the Environment and Climate Advisory Committee. It's a mouthful. I am a board member, treasurer for Sustainable Solano. Sustainable and climate, they go together, but I'm also doing the finance for them as far as advising as a board member and looking over the financials for that. But also, not to mention all the other things I do and treasury work I do. It all intertwines instead of me going off and doing auto body shop work. Where is that? Where does that come from? And so that's what I mean. Proverbs 21:5 says, the plan of the diligent leads to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty. Y'all, come on. Come on. Okay? We have to stop trying to use shortcuts to get to the wealthy status, to get to what the rich people are doing and mimicking them, because taking the shortcut and doing all these things and thinking this is what they're doing is actually going to push you further behind. And now you have to spend time restructuring everything and learning and knowing how to manage what you currently have to then get in that position, which is fine if that's the route you take, because y'all already know I'm gonna say it's either working for you or on you. So either way, but why not do it right during the process if you have that information ahead of time? Okay. And the last, or I think I have two more. So another thing is investing. What people always say, only invest in what you understand. That's my little voice when I mimic people. But No, seriously, I'm a little about it. Okay. Yes, invest what you understand because we can get into this in another topic, but a part of what I tell my clients is and do self-directing IRAs, self-directed, meaning you direct what you're good at, what you know, because you know it, right? So if you know it, then you can be the one to improve, increase, enhance. That's why self-directed IRAs are good because you can direct your business. You can invest into a business in this. You can invest into your own stocks. You can invest into other people's businesses. It allows you to have flexibility in what you choose. If you know how to do the stock, if you know how to do markets, then that's your thing. I love that Mark Kohler is one of my business mentors in the tax and accounting space. And he talks about it through and through. You have a vehicle, right? The investment vehicle gets you to where you need to go. But there's a driver's seat, the back seat, the passenger seat. There's also the trunk. As you're getting to where you need to go, there's going to be investments in every area that is going to be diversified. So diversify and diversity is going to be what you know. It's going to be what your advisor knows. It's going to be what your tax strategist helped you with your tax return to do something. And then you go tell the advisor, and the advisor helps you do these things. It helps you invest into what you need. That is part of it. So, portion of it is why I say is because you can get a team of people again in your inner circle, and they can help you invest in what they know. It's not just what you know. Okay. It's about having the diversity to be able to use it to your leverage. And a part of that is having somebody help you. I'm all for having a financial advisor or a wealth advisor, a wealth strategist that helps you. Okay. And so if that is something that you're interested in, please, that is something that you should be looking at because it's really important to know who you can put in your circles to do that. Now, the last thing, one of the last things I want to cover is knowing the difference. And I've talked about this before, but a CPA and a tax strategist are two different things. Now, a CPA is essentially they're going to file your tax returns, they're going to do your bookkeeping, and they're going to do your auditing. Not many CPAs do tax strategies. You might find a good CPA that really cares. They will help you with tax strategies, but not all. And so it's important to know the difference to have this person on your team also with a tax strategist because they're going to be able to complement each other and work in conjunction with one another. A lot of the time, CPA is going to file your taxes, and the strategist is going to help you define your wealth. They're going to help you design the wealth by helping you leverage strategies. A good tax strategist is going to help you leverage a strategy that helps build wealth. And then once you transfer that over, then you talk to your financial advisor about how this wealth can be implemented by using the strategies on your taxes. And then they also should be helping you anyway with your personal. And they should be helping you, and I'm talking still about a wealth strategist or a financial planner or a financial advisor, okay, in conjunction with their tax strategist. And what I want to leave y'all with is if you're only talking to your tax strategist or if you're only talking to your CPA during tax time, and that's it, then that's how you know you need a tax strategist. You need a tax advisor. At the time of tax time, when you see your CPA to file your taxes, that's when you really know you need to have a tax strategist. Okay. And so I want to leave you guys with knowing that you don't need 10 streams of income to be successful right now. Okay. You need a smart, effective system. You don't need to copy the corporations. You need to understand your numbers. You just need to plan and align your business, wealth, and taxes with your purpose. You need to align your business with purpose so that your profit becomes a tool and not just purposeless. You want your profit to become a tool and not a trap. You want your profit to be able to leverage what you're doing and not take you down. I want to leave y'all with knowing that you can build wealth. Okay? You can build wealth, but not with half the truth. You have to know the options that you have around you. You should be understanding your options and leveraging the knowledge of others to get to where you need to go. So I challenge you to be curious. I challenge you to think about what it is that you could be doing differently in those areas that we talked about in this episode, so that now you can be more strategic and you could put yourself in a position way ahead of everyone else, because you're doing even two of those things differently than other people are at your in your income level, at the stage you're in, and with the clients that you have. So I hope that this has been a good insight for you. And until then, I'll see y'all later. And we are evolving and we're doing it out loud. See y'all later. Exciting to say the least. And I'm happy that I'm doing it with you guys. Until next time, I love y'all and welcome to Evolving Out Loud.